Hello. I'll just give it a couple more minutes for people to join, and then I'll kick off. Okay. Welcome to SYNQ's weekly product demo. Thanks for joining. I'm Stephen Murphy, Field CTO at SYNQ, and I'll start today with just one slide to frame the context and introduction before spending the rest of the time within my SYNQ demo environment. Because at SYNQ, we use SYNQ, so I'm very much a data practitioner on a daily basis myself. The theme this week will be SQL Mesh and iGaming. Data observability, which is our focus, is traditionally focused on two things: data quality by ingesting logs, schema, and lineage, and anomaly monitoring through volume and freshness checks. As such, existing tools in the industry are very good at flagging issues like incorrect volume or freshness, but often fall short in providing the tools to actually resolve them. As a consequence, data teams are left with too many alerts, no idea what to prioritize, and limited tooling to conduct root cause analysis. Having spoken with over 1,000 data teams over the past few years, it's became very clear to us what data practitioners were actually looking for, and that's a workflow. And at SYNQ, what we've built and actually put into execution within our platform is a data quality workflow that allows you to define what's important, build an ownership model, detect and resolve all priority issues, and report on data quality, all whilst avoiding the inevitable alert fatigue, which is synonymous with this space. The outcome of which is a set of data products that are aligned with how data is driving value for the business, such as financial reporting, or in the iGaming space, potentially sub-affiliate reporting. So for the next 20 minutes, I promise just the one slide, I'll plan on sharing a brief insight into each one of these steps to highlight SYNQ's unique and holistic approach to data observability. So throughout, feel free to drop any comments in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them throughout or cover them towards the end. So let's head over to the SYNQ platform, where we'll start with data products and ownerships. And the challenge that data practitioners often face is, and often struggle to know, is if critical data processes are functioning correctly. Questions are typical, like, did the nightly pipelines run successfully, remain unanswered. So here are my example data products, and a few of the common examples that we come across are revenue within the finance domain, or customer lifetime value within the marketing domain. But what I'll do is bring this to life and create a product live on the call. So I work as a data practitioner at an iGaming company, and I'm interested in my affiliate APIs. So this is how I gather all of my commission data and revenue data. So this is my ingestion engine. In this context, this is P1, so this is business critical to my top revenue metric, right down to P3 and P4, which is like exploratory. So that gives you an indication. And this will be my tier 1 affiliate in terms of folder structure, and we can layer in domains as well within SYNQ. Next, we actually need to collate the assets that pertain to this particular use case across the stack. And we can connect to a modern analytics data stack end-to-end, including warehouse, BI tools, transformation layer, orchestration, data loaders, etc. Rather than just selecting individual assets, because there could be many tens of assets, I've actually already done the legwork. And in this case, I've deployed ClickHouse as my warehouse, but SQL Mesh as the transformation layer. And I've already encoded a lot of the assets and ownership as tags within SQL Mesh. So in SYNQ, we can bring this in natively. So I can navigate to the meta tag for owner with SQL Mesh, and I want everything owned by data engineering. So in this case, it's all my affiliate runs from the execution engine pertaining to the API. I can then further filter this by type, so SQL Mesh, SQL model. And what's clever is, as default, we can actually map in the tables and views that are related to this model. So we've got an understanding through our SQL parser of the underlying and inherent lineage. Next, a crucial step is our monitoring strategy, specific to our critical data products. So I can deploy monitors Omni assets, and I've already deployed one in advance, so we've got a good understanding of the monitoring already deployed. Or in line with our best practice, I actually want to deploy to all of my external tables. And the best practice here is if you deploy at the external table or DBT sources in the DBT world, you're capturing all issues before they even hit your data platform. So you're effectively monitoring everything that's upstream. So this is something that we recommend as best practice. Definitely don't monitor and test everything, but be very specific around your critical data products. Then I want to assign an owner, so data engineering. And as you can see here, we can also orchestrate business workflows as well. So we can inform account managers, non-technical teams, C-levels to foster a sense of trust across the organization. And then we'll toggle our granular alerting controls. So I'm not really worried about warning. I want error fatal. I won't include upstream for now. So I want to be very specific and mitigate alert fatigue. So I'll just go ahead with these settings for now. And then we've created a data product. So as you can see, I'll draw your attention, we've connected tables and views across ClickHouse, which is my warehouse, and SQL Mesh. We can extend this by adding in our BI tool, for example, dashboards or data sets from Omni as one example. We've assigned a priority, and this will traverse the entire platform. So we'll know as a data practitioner exactly where to focus our time versus anything that's P3, P4. We've assigned an owner. And even more importantly, we actually have an aggregated quality score. So we can understand the performance of all tests on our data product, as well as upstream of our data product as well. So we can very confidently report the status of each data product back to the business. And we'll talk about this a little bit more shortly about the different metrics that we can slice by when it comes to data quality. And then just to wrap up, we've also got a data product level lineage. So within SYNQ, we can manage lineage at data product level, also table level, column level, right down to code level, which I'll show shortly. Data product level is really effective because even non-technical users or business stakeholders can come in and we can see exactly what's upstream, what's downstream from my affiliate API's use case. Feel free to keep writing anything in the chat along the way. But just to wrap up this particular pillar of the demo, so IAG Group, a company behind the well-known Avios loyalty program, so currency being their loyalty measurement, uses SYNQ data products to communicate the status and quality of data to business stakeholders, building a transparent culture of trust. Their 6-pillar governance framework, which we've touched upon in the quality score, helps guide stakeholders on how and when to use data. So next, let's have a look at our overall testing strategy. So SYNQ provides a single pane of glass view into your entire testing strategy and integrates deeply with DBT and SQL Mesh. As you can see on the left-hand side, DBT and then SQL Mesh deployment as part of this use case. In addition to that, we augment the testing strategy with our own self-learning anomaly monitors across automatic use cases and custom use cases as well. And this captures trend and seasonality. In other words, in addition to just the known unknowns that you capture in the tests, we can also capture unknown unknowns in our anomaly detection. So I'll just show a quick example just to give context in iGaming. So we can deploy very specifically in the context of custom monitors. So rather than just monitoring the holistic predictions table, I can actually slice and segment this by partner. So I can have an individual time series by partner, and I can be able to be reactive and proactive depending on my tier one partners across the affiliate program. In addition to that, I actually want to deploy monitors at scale. So I want to monitor, for example, the source layer of my data warehouse to capture issues before they hit my data platform. And traditionally, manually managing monitors is time consuming and difficult to maintain. Teams waste time configuring alerts across hundreds of tables, leading to inconsistencies. So let's go ahead and create a monitor deployment rule to automatically provision monitors across multiple metrics at scale. So within SYNQ, we have deployment rules. So we can actually see the rule that we deployed via our affiliate APIs product earlier. Let's create another one. So we can deploy sensitivity, so balanced or precise at scale, the severity, so again, not too worried about warnings, so we'll go for errors. And then the three metrics are related to volume, freshness, and change delay. So change delay is where the table is being updated, but there's no new rows, so it's almost stale data use cases. And I want to define a rule-based approach. So rather than just selecting potentially tens of thousands of source tables, I want to select the type. In this case, it could be SQL Mesh external tables, or in the context of DBT, it could actually be source tables. And as you can see, just based on building out this multi-level rule, we can isolate a number of different tables. And then within a single click, we can deploy this rule. And any new asset that then conforms to this particular rule, so any new source, will immediately have this monitor rule applied to it. So it's very scalable, and this is exactly how our enterprise customers deploy at scale when they've got tens of thousands of different assets. So just to summarize this context as well, so Ivan wanted to monitor all of their data sources, but realized some of them don't have downstream models. And it was a waste of effort and risk of false positives. And so used SYNQ to create a specific rule to deploy only monitors to sources that have at least one downstream model. SYNQ then ensures all sources matching that rule have a monitor, as we've just shown. Keeping an eye on any messages that come through. So now we'll take a look into the world of issues and incident management. So let's say one of my monitors is triggered. So one of my affiliate partners maybe has a drop in revenue, let's say. So it's crucial to articulate that not every issue is an incident. And without structured triaging, teams either escalate too much or miss critical problems, leading to wasted effort or unnoticed failures. So here's an alert in my Slack channel, which is fired as a consequence of an anomaly on my predictions table. I can see the real impact assessment, including data products. And further down, you can see owners as well. So we can tag handles within Slack. This also applies to Microsoft Teams for additional context. We can also go ahead and manage the issue lifecycle as well, all within Slack. So in some cases, it might be a case of marking as fixed or no action needed just to clear from our triage. In other cases, we want to explicitly declare this as an incident. And just for additional context, so this is one of my partner segments actually firing. And this is actually a single alert consolidated across our segmented monitor. So we're not getting multiple alerts just for the same monitor with multiple segments and alert fatigue building up. This is a consolidated alert based on those tier one partners that I'm interested in. Let's hop back over to SYNQ. And in addition to triggering issue workflows with best-in-class tools such as PagerDuty, OpsGenie, and Incident.io, here's SYNQ's incident management workbench. When an issue arises, they first enter triage, allowing you to decide if they require incident treatment. SYNQ provides instant impact assessment over products, as you can see on the right-hand side, teams, and also individual assets, so very granular, so I can see the actual models, DBT in this context, that are impacted based on my predictions table. And this is all in one screen, and this helps you quickly identify root causes and assess impacts. And similar to Slack, I can go ahead and manage the issue lifecycle, leave comments, understand related issues, and collaborate with the team. Just to wrap up this pillar, so for context and an anecdote, so Ebury, one of the leading companies in capital markets, historically they were frustrated with everything being considered an incident. In fact, multiple customers and prospects have reported that to us. So it almost overwhelms the team. It's very difficult to know what is actually important. And it almost gives a negative perception on the data team as a whole, because everything's classed as this tier one incident. But within SYNQ and incident management, a combination of data products and the way we set the severity earlier, they're much more focused on business critical issues, as they can explicitly declare what's an incident, leaving issues as a almost subcategory to triage individually. And next, typically, when there's an issue or an incident, we want to troubleshoot at a deeper level. So it's not just about letting you know that an issue exists. It's about arming data practitioners with the right tools in order to actually resolve the issue and get to the bottom of the issue. So we're looking to troubleshoot this issue that we've just been alerted on in granular detail, now that we've been alerted on Slack. Debugging complex logic within a model is very difficult, especially with large code bases with tens of thousands of lines of code. Column level lineage isn't sufficient for understanding intricate code transformations. And we saw earlier the data product level lineage. So we can actually go to table level lineage and column level lineage, which I'll highlight in another session. But in this case, column level lineage wouldn't be enough. We need to know more than just the relationships between tables. We need to go to a deeper level into code. And what SYNQ enables us to do is to connect lineage and code into a single workflow. And you can trace the data journey from source to final report and see how each column's logic is derived through layers of code and column table expressions, or CTEs. This granular insight is crucial for pinpointing and fixing issues quickly. So let me bring that to life. So here we purposefully not propagated a description from dbt or ClickHouse for run status type. So without having developed this table myself or written the code, it's very unclear what this column is, how it's derived in code, and how it's propagating left and right in our data stack. So in this case, I can jump through to the code itself, straight into the line of code within this particular model and table. And on the right-hand side, I can start traversing through the layers of code and CTEs. So I can hop up to the CTE here, and I can also go upstream as well. So within just 2 clicks, I can immediately see run's status type is mapped to these types of labels or severities. And I can keep going, traversing lineage and the tens of thousands of lines of code to really understand how this is derived and what's the relationship upstream and downstream for this particular column. So again, just column level lineage wouldn't be enough here. I have to traverse at the code level. Again, just to wrap up this particular segment, so Dext, one of the leading accounting software companies, they use SYNQ and reduce time to resolution by 30% by leveraging code level lineage, ensuring high data quality and compliance. And their data engineering manager actually called it a game changer in terms of reducing MTTR, mean time to resolution. Feel free to ping in any comments and I'll do my best to answer any towards the end. But finally, let's see how we track data quality trends and prove our improvements over time. So as a data practitioner, how do you go about proving your data quality strategy is working? Without clear metrics, your data quality strategy is just left at a very technical context. It's very difficult to articulate at scale, maybe monthly, weekly, quarterly, back into the business. So let's take a look at SYNQ's analytics dashboard. It provides quality analytics across 6 governance pillars. So we can see on the left-hand side, accuracy, completeness, consistency, uniqueness, timeliness, and validity. And we can slice this further by multiple dimensions. So number of tests with issues, also mean time to resolution as well. So we can really zoom in on any anomalous results. So here, for example, very anomalous, and there's a particular assertion test in dbt that's causing this particular result. So we can zoom straight in to the actual test in question. We can also take this a level further as well by slicing by owner or even data product. So I'm interested in my core services. This can also be segmented and sliced further by configuring domains within SYNQ. But this is where I can look at the analytics that I really care about based on my data product centric approach. And this provides a unified overview for both engineering and governance teams. So some of our larger enterprises that we work with, for example, like the large airline group that I mentioned earlier, both teams, even though they work largely in isolation, can actually collaborate through SYNQ analytics to get this holistic approach to visibility across data quality. And just to finalize this particular pillar as well, so Lunar, a leading neobank in the Nordics, uses SYNQ's analytics to communicate data quality trends back to C-level each month and each quarter, in addition to investors and regulators. So this is a really important part of the pillar across financial services and banking in particular. So many thanks for your time today. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have now or subsequently following this session. If there's anything else you want to look at in greater detail, please navigate to synq.io to book a demo. Alternatively, you can find me on Slack or email on LinkedIn. Ping me a message and we'll do our best to answer any questions. But we're looking to do the webinar every week with different themes across the technologies that we're integrating and the use cases that we're delving into across our prospects and customers. So we look forward to meeting you next week as well. Thank you.